We have an opportunity to check out a couple of different modifications to the Saiga semi-automatic rifles from Russia. Let's take a look at them. First off, most of these three rifles are all from Saiga, or Saiga, however you want to say it. I say Saiga. Most people know what I'm talking about. They're made in Russia at the same factories that the AK-47s are made. However, this is a semi-auto, sporterized version. Taking a look, you can see that it's marked 545 by 39. We've got the Izmash factory stamp there, as well as made in Russia by Izmash. It's Russian, so on the trunnion here we get the triangle with the arrow with the feathers. There's also triangles with arrows with no feathers. That would be Romanian. So this one's a Russian, and as it says, this one's a 545. Now this one's the way that they're imported into the country. We won't get into federal laws, but basically under federal law, rifles have to meet certain requirements in order to be importable or legal for import, and those basically have to do with almost cosmetic issues that make them look military style. So that the way the Saiga deals with it is they take the pistol grip off of the AK-74, they move the trigger back to the pistol grip area, add a couple of holes so that the trigger will stay there. Then they add kind of a seesaw mechanism in the old trigger hole. Then they put a cover here over the old trigger hole, so now it's in the hole that the pistol grip used, and its old hole is covered. They put on a different mag catch, and they put on a different type of trigger guard. Then they pretty much from the safety forward, it's pretty much the same rifle. The stocks that they put on are more of a shotgun style, so that your hand is there for the trigger, and actually not too uncomfortable to shoot. It's just different for sure than when you're used to shooting an AK with a pistol grip. There are some issues with feeding on some of them, and that has to do with this feed ramp either being wrong or in the incorrect place, or not being there at all. And so some of them need to be modified there as well. Otherwise, it's all cosmetic stuff. If you don't like the hand guards or the muzzle end is just crown, there's nothing going on the muzzle as far as threads or anything. But these have been modified to bring their pistol grips back and their trigger groups forward. This one's been modified so that its mag catch and trigger guard are kind of welded back together, cut and welded back together, and it was done very well. So it's all smooth and nice, and really, unless you have you know, a magnifying glass on it, you really can't tell that it's not just the way that it started out. And then the shotgun's a little different because it has a different type of catch. So we'll take a look at this one next. This one's an AK-47 style, so 7.62 by 39. Otherwise, pretty much the same exact rifle as this one, just that the chamber's a different size. Mag's probably different, or the mag well's probably a little bit different. And this last one is Saiga 12, so a 12 gauge shotgun, and it's a shotgun built on the AK-47 system. So except for being stretched and oblonged, and there's a couple extra pieces because of the size of the shotgun shell and the magazine and the barrel, pretty much the same basic firearm as these others. And as far as the trigger goes, basically this identical. And you can see once you've removed the trigger, those two pins need to be addressed. So on this one, the still sporterized version, we've got the two pins there in place holding the trigger in. On this one, the trigger now uses its original single trigger pin, and then it has rivets in the two holes. And then another way to go would be to, again, using the regular trigger pin, welding the holes. And on this one, you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can see that there were probably a couple of holes here, but most people on taking a look at that firearm aren't going to realize that those holes have been screwed, have been filled in. And then these rivets, again, if you're not familiar with the way an AK-47 is supposed to look, no one's going to realize that those rivets are just there to fill the holes. On this, the feed ramp was also modified, so basically a cup or a taco shell shaped piece of metal was added, so that as the round is stripped from the magazine, it's aimed towards the chamber. Because the mag well is also modified just a hair, the magazines that come with the Saigas are designed with a different feed angle so they can feed. When you use a standard AK magazine now, the feed angle is a little different, and that feed ramp gets the geometry right and feeds the rounds where they wouldn't have fed before. It's not necessary on all of them, and I'm not sure the reasons behind that. Some Saigas require a feed ramp when you open up the mag well and adjust the mag catch so that they can accept regular mags. Up front, the modifications are quite different. We won't get into them in this video. It's probably long enough already. So that's a brief look at these 3 rifles and 2 options for external modifications to deal with the holes from the trigger groups. If you'd like to see the actual process of doing the conversion, I'm going to recommend another YouTube channel. Iraq Veteran 8888 did a great series a while back on converting the Saiga 12, and it's going to apply to all of these rifles, so we'll provide a link in our description to his channel. Thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.